Oh, Julissa. Okay, thank you. Much better? Oh, good. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Well, welcome, Camille. I'm on air with Ashley Claire. I have a podcast that I'm working on. I do have an Instagram, on air with Ashley Claire. Check it out. Continuing to do interviews with just different ladies and just sharing testimonies, stories, and just talking about real life. So that's the goal, is to know that you're not alone in life and that we're walking this journey together, and just want to share stories from different journeys, from different ladies. And I am going to branch out to men. I used to do some artist interviews with track stars. Actually, shout out to track stars. They are awesome. Check them at track stars with a Z. .com and all IG and social media. But I wanted to start doing some interviews with ladies, just to, again, so you know you're not walking alone, and just get encouragement for what we're going through. So again, I'm Ashley Claire. I'm also the co-founder of Purely Bachelorette with Camille. And so that's why we're going live through On Air with Ashley Claire and Purely Bachelorette. So we're super excited for this opportunity. Camille, thank you for being with me today. I love you. You look absolutely stunning, beautiful girl. I want to introduce you. So Camille is amazing. She's super humble, so she probably won't talk too much of all of her accolades, but I just want to tell you she's amazing. She's first and foremost just the sweetest girl, loves God. She's a veterinarian. She has a wonderful family, big family, 2 brothers. And her parents, and her brother actually owns Trackstars, CEO of Trackstars. And so they are just an awesome family. She's super encouraging. But Camille, you're welcome. Camille, I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started PB. Just kind of give us an intro to you.
Sure. Well, again, my name is Camille Grant, and Ashley, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Very, very thankful. I feel like my life isn't that grand, that special, but I will try to, share my life. Hopefully it'll be a great testimony for some people, okay? People who are on Facebook Live, if you can't hear me, go back on IG Live, okay? All right. So, yes, I'm hearing the echo too. Do you hear it?
Yeah, I think it's a Zoom.
Okay.
I turned my volume down, but
Turn
yeah.
mine down.
Okay.
I don't hear it anymore. Okay.
Good.
All right, great.
Okay.
So yes, my main goal in life is just to glorify the Lord as much as I can. I want to fulfill God's purpose for my life. So it could be either through my job. What I do is I'm a veterinarian working with animals, either that or with my business on the side. I'm co-founder with Ashley, who I'm talking to right now. She's a wonderful human being. Glad to partner with her. The business is basically a bachelorette party box that's incorporated into bachelorette parties. It's clean and fun. That's our message, is to honor the bride-to-be and the groom in a very special way. So that's what we do. So hopefully that glorifies the Lord too. And then I do a lot of volunteer work on the side, helping out other businesses who want to glorify the Lord. So that would be something like Track Stars, which tries to bring and incorporate godly content to the mainstream. So it could be in music, engineering, acting. We invited a Christian female football player last week. So it's just anything that will point our love to the Lord, point people who don't know the Lord to him. So that's what I'm all about, is with anything I touch, I want his name to be praised.
So good. So good. So tell us a little bit more about what you're passionate about and what you do, Camille. So I know some people don't know, she is a vocalist. She is a very good vocalist. So she does music and different kind of artistry type things. Can you tell us a little bit more about your passion side of things that you're involved in?
Yeah, I like to do random things. I don't want to say I get bored easily, but I just like to experiment different things. Like I did karate since 2008 and I'm a black belt now. Like I love that stuff. I randomly like anime and manga. Like you could see me doing anything. I love different cultures. And yeah, with music, surprisingly, I love classical, singing opera music. I would love to, like my dream job would be to sing in a movie soundtrack, sing in a video game. I've been reaching out to composers like Jeremy Soule, Austin Wintory, Eric Whitaker. And some of these people have reached out saying like, hey, we're busy this year, but hopefully in the future, which means no, that's not going to work out. But at least they reached back and Jeremy Soule, who did Skyrim from Elder Scrolls video game. Like, that was a dream come true to hear him respond back to me, because I would love to sing in his video games. And he was like trying to do the Lord of the Rings soundtrack and stuff. So anyway, that's what I'm passionate about. If I could honestly leave veterinary medicine, I would do that all day. But I love working with animals.
You do.
Yeah.
I know. That's the cool thing. It's like you still love what you do, but if you could do something full time, that would be one of the things that you'd want to do. Exactly. You're very good at it. Hopefully she has an EP out. It is Christmas EP, but she's going to come out with some more stuff. I'm putting that out there. She's working on it. But she has a wonderful Christmas EP that's out on iTunes. Camille Priscilla is her stage name. Well, it's her name, but that's her stage name. So check it out. So I'm going to look over here. I have my show notes right here because I've got a lot going on. So let's see. Okay, so good. So the next question was, with your passions, one of the questions that I get asked myself, and even kind of it's hard to, maybe not hard to answer, but kind of always want to ask people, how do you strategize with having your day job and wanting to, pursue your passions on the side and keep things going? How do you strategize, keep structure and your goals to meet your goals? So like, how do you kind of structure yourself, or what successful tools do you use to keep you building your craft while you're a veterinarian?
Great question. So if you didn't hear me down here, how do I like organize my time? So that's a great question. This is actually an answer specifically for you, Ashley, because I know how you are about, you want to get everything that's on your mind done, like of course with effort, but with excellence. But don't stress yourself out, Ashley. You're doing amazingly well.
Thank you. Okay? I'm trying.
You can't do everything in one day. So that was like the first thing I wanted to tell you. What has helped me is checklists, like tasks in a list and just checking it off. Because once you have it written down and once you've accomplished it that day, you feel great. It's like a nice little reward for you. You could highlight it, remove it, just cross it out. You could even treat yourself to chocolate or something to like just keep you pushing that day. Yes. And what also helps me too is these tasks. Don't make them too big to where it's like, I'm not going to touch it. It's impossible. So for example, do tasks that are small first. Like for example, okay, I'm going to read from page 23 to 50. Okay, that doesn't sound that hard, right? Okay, you would get it accomplished. Thank the Lord, all is good. What we do wrong with tasks and checklists is that we say, you need to read this book by the evening. Like, no, it's impossible. You can't read an entire book today. So it's important with checklists to break it so tiny, like do breadcrumbs so that you have accomplished something. It's small, but it keeps you propelling to the next day, the next week. We just want to do everything in one day. So that's what I want to share with you.
That's really good. That's really good.
It's so tell me exercise, when you want to start off, you start off slow and you keep practicing, and then you can do more and become a pro at it and then do a lot of things. And eventually you can read a whole book for a day.
That's true. So give me a day in the life for like a week for you. How do you structure yourself in that way? Like give us maybe a practical example. So aside from checklists, how do you keep yourself motivated and to say, okay, here's a new week. I have my list. You can check it off, but like, how do you stay kind of structured? What does it look like and motivated to do it?
Yeah, well, my new job is nice as a veterinarian where I just work 4 days a week. So it doesn't feel cumbersome. So it is long days. So I can't do a lot of my tasks after work because I'm just beat and done. But I have 3 days off, but not consecutively sometimes. Sometimes I have a 1 day off here, 2 days off here. But those are the times where I either rest, if I'm watching something on Netflix or whatever, I could do other things. People are just watching the TV and they're not, they could be active too. If you can't go to the gym, you can do sit-ups while you're watching TV. You could do a lot of things. So that's what I do. I kind of multitask. If I need to turn off the TV and just do something on the side, that's what I do. And the important thing about tasks too is sometimes doing like a time limit. Okay, 30 minutes, I'm only going to do this. So it forces you to be actually working really hard on it and not being lackadaisical with that task. So like take 2 hours of the day, I'm going to do this. And once I'm done with it, I'm like, okay, thank the Lord, I did what I could. I'm not going to beat myself up. Move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Yeah, because I think we as a society, especially in the celebrity world, artist world, so we're in that world, with wedding stuff, but also with track stars and um, you see a lot of people or a good amount of people accomplishing things, and you're wondering, well, like, how are they doing it all? And do they have a day job and things like that? And so I think one thing too is accountability and having community around you to support you and not being afraid to ask for help when you need help. Like, hey, can you help me, shoot this, or can you help me, with our company, we're actually in 2 different states. So we do this business not together physically, but remotely. And so it's not easy. And so sometimes we'll have to delegate and say, hey, Camille, can you take this task? Or Ashley, can you take this task? So it's really delegation, it's discipline, it's community, it's, when you need the help that you need, asking for it and not feeling bad to ask. So I think that's something I would add too, that I know you're good at too, and letting know when it's getting hard or you need that support. So
don't burn yourself out. You're doing something that you're passionate about. Why be stressed out of stuff that you're passionate about?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good.
And with Facebook people, if you can't hear me, you could go on Instagram. I'm sorry. Let me know if you can hear Ashley too. Okay, go on, sorry.
Okay. And I'm on Zoom with my phone up in the air here. So a lot of people are saying 2020 vision, like goals, 2020, like it's super cute, but also corny. That's awesome. I'm seeing comments down here. So can you share with us some of your goals this year and kind of what you want to accomplish with that, kind of in that same vein?
Yeah. So with 2020, it feels surreal. I'm honestly just wanting to enjoy this year in my 30s. This is my first year in my 30s, and it's crazy. I don't feel old. Like, I don't know why people feel like when you're 30, you're old. You're not old. You're still young. Feel that way if you
30 is the new 20. 40 is the new 30.
20. Yes. Yes. So I'm trying to just experience that feel of being 30 right now. Also with my business, Pure Bachelorette, I'm hoping that we can do more interviews like this. My goal, I don't know if your goal is bigger than mine, but at least 10 by the end of the year. 10 more interviews. I like it. That would be a good goal. Also, everything in our inventory that will either be sold, will either be sold or gifted out by the end of the year. But while we're waiting on that we're being more productive with our brainstorming for, improving our business, what we can do differently. Financially, I was in a rough patch last year because I kind of left work with anything veterinary medicine so that I could just be with my mom and dad, because both of them were just dealing with cancer at the same time. So I had to just focus on them, helping them out. So I didn't have enough to pay for like advertising for Purely Bachelorette. I just felt kind of stressed a little bit during that time. So I know I wasn't 100% there for the business. And I do apologize for that, Ashley, but you've been really patient for me. And I want this year to be really, really focused on the business, being harder with it, more productive with it.
That's good. And what about your music?
Music, yes. I actually have like this sort of lighting thing. That was your encouragement to get that. I got one too. Yes. I got a microphone now, headset, and a new software to try and see if I could do covers. So I spoke with a singer who actually is doing what I want to do. She does video game singing. And I reached out to her. I was like, she's not going to respond. And she's like, hey, Camille, yeah, I would love to help. This is what you should do. I'm like, oh, my goodness. So she just said what helped her get noticed was she would do covers for different video games or whatever, and like tag them, hashtag them, and got discovered by one of the composers. Was like, yeah, we would love you to be in my video game. I'm like, what? So she like tried that. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm trying to make playlists of all these different songs that really catch my ear. I'm like, oh, I could sing over that. And I saved it for later. I'm thinking of either maybe doing it in a different language or something so it sounds really authentic, classical. I love singing in German, so that would be cool if I could translate it to that. Hey, LaDonna.
Hi, LaDonna.
Hey. But yeah,
hi,
that's the music side.
That's awesome.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, as far as with keep praying for me as far as with relationships. That's on my heart. Like it's.
We're about to get into that.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's good. Yes, definitely. Okay, good. Yeah. So let's get into the juicy stuff.
Oh,
So I want to get into relationship stuff. So Purely Bachelorette, let's tell people what Purely Bachelorette is. So if you're just tuning in and you haven't really understood our business or you have questions, or we are a clean, fun bachelorette party box that you add to your bachelorette party. So it takes the raunchiness out. I had been to many parties before and in Vegas and all different places, and we were just getting really tired of dishonoring the guys really with strippers and male part cakes and things like that. No shade to anyone that wants to do that. I just kind of didn't want to do that anymore. Neither did Camille or want to be a part of that. So we created Purely Bachelorette for that alternative. So it's still fun with your girls. There's tons of games. There's a party sash. There's a bridal crown. You can bring it with you wherever you go. You want to go to Vegas, go to Temecula, wine country, wherever you go with your girls. But you can bring it with you, and it kind of brings you and your girls together. So you ask questions, and then there's a surprise video opportunity that we have in there that includes the groom. Super fun. So it just really encourages the bride and all her sisters to just enjoy and draw close to each other. So in that, relationship wise, I have a question for you. Let me check my show notes here. So
how is your arm, by the way?
It's totally fine, actually. You know what was funny? I actually did dips today. So I went and worked out, and I did some like 3 sets of 12. So I feel like my lats are working. I know I'm holding my phone this time. I normally have a tripod, but I'm in a different location today. So so I want to share this with you guys. This is a blessing. Camille was open enough and brave enough to share this, which I think is a good thing. We should be talking about this. So we talk about sex a lot. With not being a virgin, and I am definitely not a virgin, and I thank God for being actually celibate now for 5.5 years, almost 6 years. So
congrats.
yeah, it's rough out here, but it's good. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. I'm waiting for my husband is my point. But Camille is 30 years old, and she is a virgin, and it is beautiful, and it's wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit about your story, Camille, and just your encouragement to ladies? Because I think now there's being a virgin a while ago was so like, guys would be like, oh, I have to have a virgin. Like, she's not a virgin. I'm just going to say it. She's a hoe. She's this and that. And now it's the opposite. It's like, oh, she hasn't done that. Oh, I don't know if I want to be with a girl that hasn't had sex and hasn't, she might not know what to do, and like it's kind of the thought. So virgins now are a little more taboo and sometimes shamed for being a virgin, and it's really sad because it's an amazing gift. Either way, I mean, to be a virgin or to not, but Camille is, and it's beautiful. And so I wanted her to share that with us and just her journey with that, and also waiting for her husband, and she'll talk about the wait shirt.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So virginity. Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. So the first thing is, I don't want to ever make anyone feel uncomfortable. I don't want you to ever think that I'm like more superior than you for being a virgin and you're not, or what have you. I care about you, whatever journey you've been in. I know you're fighting through it. If you're not, like, I still care about you. I am also not any different from you. Like, I still struggle. It might not be physical. It might be in my thoughts. I might struggle with lust. So don't ever think that because I'm a virgin, I'm better than you at all. No. Okay. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Since I was young, I've always had God in my life, in my heart. And I just did just a simple prayer because I really do care about him. I was just like, Lord, I just want to honor my body, honor you with my body. And also the man that I do marry one day, I want him to know that I waited for him. I want him to know that my body is yours and it's yours only. So I just made that simple prayer. And since then, I've been praying, of course, to the Lord every day, but I've been praying for my husband specifically. Like, I don't know where he is right now, but he could be sick right now. He could be like worshiping right now. He could be crying. Like, I don't know, but I'm praying for him.
Working out.
He could be working out, hopefully, but
building the muscles.
But yes, yeah, he's been on my heart, even though I don't know who he is. I know that it's a desire in my heart to be married one day, so I know God's gonna bless me with Oh, looks like you are frozen a little bit, Ashley. But while that's loading, I could hear you over here, Ashley.
I don't know where I went.
I don't know where you went either. Try it one more time. So she just got out. I think you have to go back on, and then I had to accept you again. I think you didn't do that. Get off of it and then go back on.
Okay.
All right. So while she's doing that, though, there was a point in my life where I felt like with the thoughts and struggling, like even though I've never been, okay, that's another surprise for many people. I've never been in a relationship before. I see you again, Ashley. All right. Adding you in.
You do.
Okay, there you
I
go.
don't know where it went. Okay.
You see me now?
Yeah.
Okay,
There, my light wasn't on.
Let me
Okay,
turn this back off now. Okay, so yes, surprise, surprise. I've never been in a relationship before, so it's kind of easier to be a virgin if I've never been in a relationship before. But still, it's still hard. I might, even though I'm not physically with somebody, I'm still with a TV screen that might have a scene that I wasn't expecting, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and now my thoughts are getting that in, and then sometimes it might replay over and over again, and then I have a creative mind, so I could go off somewhere else. I daydream a lot, so you don't know what I'm thinking about. So yeah, so it's not just the physical. You have to also think about guarding your heart and your thoughts too. So that's what I was struggling with, and I know you said you're going to talk a little about something else, but the weight shirt. Okay. The weight shirt is mainly about, yes, me waiting before marriage with my virginity. It could be anything else, though. If you wanted to wear that shirt, it could be waiting for your future job or waiting for forgiveness. Maybe someone has a bitterness against you, and you're just, asking God for just a humble heart, a humble spirit in their heart to forgive you one day. It could be anything. So, for example, actually, what does wait mean to you?
Oh, that's good. So for me, yeah, I think it's multiple things. It's waiting on my husband. It's waiting in just desires that I want. I'm in actually a process of a career change right now that's going to be coming down in the next week. And it's waiting on, you're active. You want to be active in where God's leading you, but it's also waiting for his timing. Sometimes it's not yet, so it could be waiting for that. And yeah, I think just things that you've given to God that you haven't seen yet, that you're waiting for patiently, but also being diligent as you wait. So
that's really important. That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weight can mean anything. It can mean a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's good. Okay, so the next thing and what's been it's been on my heart. So we have a few friends that I have coworkers and friends that are on dating apps. And I think there's kind of a controversy amongst people, kind of back and forth. Like one, as a Christian, you would say, okay, well, as a woman, Christian woman, well, if I get on a dating app, then like, am I pursuing him? Am I trying to go out and find my husband? And then there's, well, you can't just sit on your doorstep. Is your husband going to be the FedEx guy? Because that's pretty much all you're going to see. If you're just staying home all the time, you got to put yourself out there. Yeah. There's just so many comments about dating apps. And so I have a few friends that are on there, and I think it's great. I think, what was Ruth doing when she was in the field? So if you don't know the story of Ruth and Boaz, you probably heard people say, I'm waiting for my Boaz, and Boaz was a very wonderful man, and he saw Ruth. So she was in the field and she was working and doing what she was supposed to do, and he saw her, and he was I don't know if it was memorized is the word, but just he was encouraged by her and loved how she worked. There's a whole story there. We could get into it, but of how she got there, and she was a worthy, wonderful person. So she basically put herself, as she was working, and then put herself at his feet at one point in the story. It's in the biblical story. And he noticed her, and so I feel like that's kind of like an analogy for the dating app in a sense. So there's no shade in it, but Camille, can you tell us any of your tips and learning experience with dating apps at all, or anything that you've heard from other friends as well? I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So those that might be on the fence or those that might be thinking about it, not to say go do it tomorrow. I mean, definitely be led by God, but just, yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, yes, online dating. I actually love that analogy with Ruth because she did kind of put herself before him, but it wasn't like pursuing him. It was actually just saying, hey, you probably haven't seen me before. Here I am now. But that's kind of exactly why I kind of did the online dating. It's a different approach. So I had some friends who encouraged me, and I mean, she's on here now. I thank Natalie for helping me out. So she was like, I think you should just go out there and just explore it. I mean, there's nothing wrong about it. You're not being sinful. Just another way to do it. You're always busy at work. Like, you don't go out clubbing. Like, and I'm like, I don't. You don't go to bars. So how are you going to meet people? And I'm like, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. So I prayed about it. And the first time I tried it out was last year in October. And I do have some pros and cons with it, and I feel like we can do a separate video just explaining like the top 5 pros and top 5 cons. I'll talk about maybe like the 2 big things. Is it's very validating, it's flattering. Like the first day after I put my profile up, I had a lot of people liking my stuff, commenting, you look beautiful. I'm like, oh thank you. So it's like, you wouldn't have gotten that exposure or attention if you're just in your house and no one has seen you. So it's encouraging. Another thing is it's quite quick. If you like the other person, you could get talking quite fast. So that was nice too. The cons are, and it might be a little bit controversial. The cons are, you don't know if that person, once you guys have matched, you guys both like each other, you don't know if that other person is talking to 5 other girls or 10 other girls. So your expectation is, oh, okay, he's focused on me. Let's talk more. When he could be the next minute talking to somebody else. And I'm not a bachelorette or a bachelor show person. I hate that show. I don't like, there's a lineup of all these girls in front of him, and he has to pick and choose, and then the next day he's kissing one girl and then kissing the other one and saying I love you. So, like, I can't do that. No. So I am a one guy at a time. So that was in my heart, Lord, too. Like, Lord, please let me meet someone who kind of has the same heart as me. As, okay, I matched you. Okay, let's just talk, you and me. But I know that's impossible, and I can't be mad at him. He could have matched with somebody a day ago and found me, and then he wants to talk to me. So it's just a different culture that I'm trying to get used to. People have different expectations on dating sites. They may not try to be going on there to date. They could be just trying to explore their own personalities. I don't know. So that was the only thing that kind of made me question it. Like, what is this guy's motive? Yeah. But I've met a lot of nice people, met some nice guys, only like 2 total. But some guys have been kind with comments. Yeah. So I'll go that far right now. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I wonder what I mean, I don't know. I feel like if it's a guy that's like a man of God, like he's not going to be talking to a bunch of different girls, like entertaining them or I mean, that's what I would hope, like entertaining. But I don't know if it doesn't make them men of God if they are. It's like, okay, maybe he is trying to get to know a few girls, and then it's like, okay, so we'll definitely have to have an interview with one of the guys on Purely Bachelorette. Definitely need to get that perspective of, you know, what, and maybe if some of the guys that are tuning in, what makes you finally, like, if you do this, but finally, or just in general, finally feel like, okay, I want to pursue this one girl, I want to talk to this one girl versus, you know, I'm going to talk to a few girls. Because I had a coworker that was on the dating app, and he'd have a date every night. Like Tuesday, he'd be doing this, and, you know, granted, like, I mean, I don't know what his faith was, and it's not all about that, but like, you know, kind of, you know, it's like, what, bro? I was like, well, who's tonight? You know, we'd always joke around, and I'm not trying to like encourage that, but I'm like, how does this work? You got Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you're, I don't know. So it just, sometimes, you know, shade guys, but I feel like it's called inspector dating. Yeah. Inspector dating. Yeah. And it's like, how can you do that like emotionally though? Like, I don't understand. So I don't know. We'll have to get one of our guys. I understand why. It's just I don't like it. Like, I personally don't like it. Okay, so why is it? Why is, or why do you feel? Yeah. So if you feel like you are talking to someone,
they might be talking to other people. Why do you think that they would be doing that?
It's because they're trying to explore different personalities. They don't know who I am. They're just talking to someone on a screen, and they're just seeing their picture, and they're just trying to understand their personality. They might not like how they talk or how they type their words. That's all you have of me. So it makes sense to talk to multiple people to see what feels right, and then ghost the others if you don't like them after a while.
Ghosting. What?
No,
You
that's
just
just what
stop?
I feel. That's what I feel what's going on.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
sorry.
please don't ghost people. If you love God, like, you guys just need to be straight up, because that's someone's heart. That's like God's daughter, okay? So if it's not working out, like, just have that conversation. Don't just stop
But then some
talking to
people
them.
might say that having that conversation, you shouldn't have that conversation. If you were ready to move on, just leave, or just be patient and not say anything.
I'm gonna make that emoji face.
But yes, I got you.
Battery. Okay.
But no, it's just different perspectives, and I understand both perspectives. I'm just very different.
Yeah.
I'm old tradition type person. I prefer letters. I prefer talking than texting.
I know, right?
I prefer commenting and liking posts. I mean, I don't prefer that. I prefer the talking more.
Yeah, talking face to face.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know though, because I'm different, where I kind of want to text a little bit until I feel comfortable. Like, I feel like I'll text a little bit to see if this is even, like, I'm feeling the texts. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll give you my number. Not to say that I do that. I don't really get my number at all, actually. It takes me a while, but sorry, I'm sounding kind of like, oh, I get numbers. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying, I'm just in the DM. No, I'm just saying that I think it's healthy to kind of have a few texts, and I'm actually encouraging women, like, have a few texts, talk to someone a little bit, to where you feel comfortable, where you feel like, if you haven't met them yet, obviously if you're meeting through friends and you're in the same area, but sometimes you might meet someone in a different state. And so it's good to just kind of get to know the person a little bit, and then feel like, okay, and just that you have that peace. Maybe you obviously prayed about it. Not necessarily obvious, but, pray about it and just say, okay, do I have peace? Does this seem like someone that I want to get to know? Because honestly, when you start really talking to someone, you're emotionally investing yourself, you're investing yourself. And to a certain degree, I mean, guard your heart, but you are putting your emotions out there. You are putting your heart out there. You are getting to know them. You're probably starting to share some things. So if you're not really feeling it up front, then you need to be honest, I think, and maybe not give your number out so quick. So I don't know. Just something to think about.
Yeah, there's so much with dating sites that you just have to be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, you really do. You really do. And it's funny too. It's a small world. I've seen some people, heard some people on there that I used to know that are on the app now. So it's cool. It's a small world. You never know who's gonna show up.
Definitely.
It's good. It's good. So the next thing I kind of wanted to get into is from that. So from dating, from the weight, and preparing for your husband in a sense. So as us ladies are preparing for our husband, one of the important things that we can do is be the person that we want to attract. And so I believe that, healing where you've had, maybe past breakups is really important. Counseling is amazing. Community is amazing. But I think it's really important to heal that baggage. Or the things that you're struggling with or have struggled with, or maybe there's patterns in relationships that you've had that you're noticing, that you really work on those things and heal. Because when you go from person, if you break up and then go to a new person too soon, you're kind of filling those voids with that person, or thinking that you can do that. And then it's not really, you're not really healed. You're just kind of bringing those things back into a new relationship. And hopefully my prayer is that, for ladies, that, you are just waiting and being busy doing what you're supposed to do, and that person will come. So you don't have to have a bunch of breakups. But I just want to encourage us how important it is. There's a program out there called Celebrate Recovery, and it's a 12-step Christ-centered program, and it's for hurts, habits, and hang-ups. So anything it is, if it's procrastination, food, relationships that you've dealt with, substance abuse, alcoholism, but it's not just for addiction or that. But it's very helpful. And so I think it's just something to consider if you are struggling with different things or have had relationships. But Camille, can you talk to that a little bit, and maybe some of I know you have a testimony with bullying and how you've healed to prepare for your husband and relationship issues that can come up in a relationship.
Okay, that's an action-packed question. So I guess I'll go first.
I tend to do that. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll go first with the Celebrate Recovery, because that really did change my life. So like you said, Celebrate Recovery is very similar to AA. It could be alcohol awareness. That's the one that it is popular for. But Celebrate Recovery is any sort of addiction, any sort of habits. So I listened to someone on this conference, and she was sharing all of her habits, all of her issues. Her testimony was powerful. And in her list of all her problems, she said one thing that stuck out to me. Like, I was like, whoa, she's dealing with that too? And it felt like that song, Killing Me Softly. I'm like, stop talking. It's saying too much about my life. Stop. So I just had like a burden in my heart to reach out to her, but I did not have the courage to do that for a full year. So I was like, you know what? I learned from her. I could do it on my own. Let's do it. And I did okay for a while, but then I just kind of gave up. So after a year, I approached her finally. I was shaking. I was like, okay, how do I approach her? I was like, so I said, hey, you said something at a conference that really spoke to me, and I'm struggling in one of those areas. Can you help me? That's just how I approached her. And she's like, wow, yes, I will be so honored to help you. So she really did help me for 3 years of my life. Once a week, she called me. We went through the booklets of the Celebrate Recovery, and we went through what I was specifically having habits about, having kind of like addiction, but it was like a lot of issues with it. And I already talked to you about earlier in this video that I struggled with lust. So there you go. There's other things that can come with it that she was trying to help me fight through that process. And for 3 years, she helped me out. We went through all the books, all the process, and I feel so much stronger. Of course, I'm not perfect. Of course, there's still things that might pop up, but I have ways to see the triggers and trying to stop it, stuff like that. So that has been great. I told her after all of that she's going to be my matron of honor, because she has changed my life. She has made me stay focused on the Lord and honor him with everything. So I thank her. I know I'm not going to say her name, but if she sees this one day, I want to make sure I thank her for that. Now, as far as with bullying, so in my 3rd grade year, even in elementary, all of elementary, I am considered a tomboy. I'm still a tomboy to this day, but I'm trying to bring out a little bit of the girly side of me. But in 3rd grade, did a lot of sports, did tackling with the boys outside. And one time in lunch, I was sitting with some girls, and they're like, do you like boys? And again, this is 3rd grade. So I was like, ew, gross, cooties, no. No, I don't. And I just innocently said no. And then the next day I'm hearing rumors that I'm gay, and people were treating me with disrespect. I just felt hurt every day. And there was obvious occurrences where they really treated me like crap, and I won't talk much about it. But I cried for a lot of nights, and I just, went to the Lord and I said, what's going on? What am I doing? I don't know why they're talking about this and about me. And the next day I just, not like after a month, I went in and just started talking to people about the Lord, sharing my faith of Jesus, just loving on everybody, just being kind and gentle. And then everyone was like, nah, she's just a Christian, la la la. And then the rumors went away.
She's not a Christian. She's just a Christian. She's not gay.
Yeah, but what I've learned from that experience is, even if you may not agree with someone's behavior, their action, or their lifestyle, why are you being a bully? Like, why are you being so rude? Because they're not like you. So I've had a lot of love for that community, because they've been persecuted just because of their love lifestyle. Even though I'm not 100% agree with everything, I love them to death. I'm here for them. I don't wish anything against them. I understand that hurt of being accused of something, and you're like, I'm just being me. Like, what's the problem? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that really did help me be more kind to people, understand people if they're not a Christian, that, hey, I'm here for you. What do you need help with? Just love on them like any way that you can. So that's my testimony with bullying. So then your other question was about, like, what have I learned from other people's experiences, or what was it?
Yeah, and I think just in preparation, do you feel like with Celebrate Recovery and some of the things that you've been through is preparing and healing from, even, yeah, you like you say lust. So lust is just, well, I think everyone knows what lust is, but, when you have tempting things in your life, like, again, once you get married, it's not going to be perfect. So it's just dealing with those things. But yeah, just how has that prepared you, and you've, working on that to prepare more?
Like, okay, of course, again, you guys know I've never been in a relationship, so I had to learn everything from my friends, my family who have been through either bad or good relationships. So I have just some things I wanted to share with you that hopefully will help. So the first thing is, if you're married, try not to share whenever you're in like a fight with your spouse to your friends or to your family, unless it is a very physical one. Tell somebody.
Grabbing my cord.
Oh,
Yes.
you're good?
Hold on. Yep. Need to grab my cord.
Okay, but I'll continue. Making sure that you don't tell like your friends, like, oh, do you know what he said to me? Like something negative about him, because you might remember that argument years later when you've forgiven your spouse the next day. So your friends will keep bringing up something. You're like, wait, no, I'm not even thinking about that anymore. Don't talk about it. So that I learned a lot from a friend who's married. Like, don't share those petty things with your friends. It should move on quickly, forgive each other, and move on. I do believe, though, if you're not in a marriage or if you're just dating somebody, I think it's wise to, if there's a red flag or you think there's something off, tell your friend, like, is this right? Is there something I'm missing here? Because you're in such, like, emotional, you're like in awe of this guy, you guys are kind of close, you're getting to know each other, and you're kind of maybe missing out something that your friends are seeing clearly that you're not, because you're like in love with, or something, you have some feelings.
That's
so
good.
I think that is the time where you should say, hey, I kind of got in a fight with him. Is this my fault or not? Because you're still learning that other person. You're not in a committed relationship yet, so you can get out anytime. So I think that is a time where you should be okay to talk with your friends about, hey, I'm dating someone. We got into an altercation. What should I do? So that was one. Another thing was your advice, Ashley, and I've never thought about this, but on social media, Instagram, Facebook, don't say like I'm in a relationship or have a lot of pictures with your significant other if you're not married yet, if you're just boyfriend or girlfriend, until you are engaged and getting married. Then you could maybe say I'm in a relationship with that person, and then it's okay to tag that person. But I agree with you. If you are dating somebody, I won't say I'm in a relationship with that person's name, because everyone who's on your friends list will start searching him, getting everything about him. And then the next week you guys aren't dating anymore, and it's just embarrassing, and it's just to take everything down. So I agree with that. I like that advice. I'm gonna stick with that. But is it okay to just say in a relationship, but don't say?
Yes. Yeah, and I would say in a relationship, you don't have to say the person. I actually did that with one of my exes. We just put they were both in a relationship to respect each other, but we didn't put anything else up, and it was wonderful. Because I think honestly, so your core group of friends should know what's going on, and you should be sharing with them about this relationship. Don't do it in complete private. So you don't want to just do it just between you and that person. You definitely, if you're starting to date someone or court someone, or you're courting with them, they're courting you, definitely tell your close girlfriends, ladies, guys, tell your guys and talk about her in a good way, to where you're inviting them into this space and you're sharing, like you've said before, talk to them, I can't remember what you said about asking them a question about him, or checking it out, especially in marriage, but also in a relationship. If you're dating someone and maybe you guys get in a disagreement, you can run it by your girlfriends to talk about it. It's so important to do it in community with your close friends. But on social media, I just think the more that you're private about things, it just, you eliminate the noise of someone, kind of checking them out or making comments, or, you know, you just want to do it with your close friends. But yeah, I think if you're active on there and you think that that will help to just respect, you know, so someone knows like, hey, you're not single. If it says single, obviously definitely change that, or just take it off.
Yeah.
Just take it off. Yeah. I don't have anything on there, but if I am in a relationship, it'll say in a relationship typically. I mean, I won't hide that I'm in a relationship. That's one thing too. So if you're there hiding you and not putting like anything, maybe that would be a sign too. That's not good. So be careful of that. Mm-hmm.
This is very helpful for me. But I do feel that if you're not talking to your boys about me, at least helping yourself out, I feel like you're not interested in me. So it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
exactly.
That was one thing. And then another thing is that I learned from like some radio show. They're saying whenever your spouse comes home, go up to him, show him your love with a hug or a kiss. Like always do that whenever he comes home. Like, okay, that's a new thing. I'll try that. Because it just shows that you're celebrating him, even with a little bit of things. You're not just tolerating him. Like, oh, you see him enter the room, you're like, hey, bro, that's it. But you actually are getting up to him and just saying something to him and giving him a kiss. So I thought that was helpful from someone. And I think another one was, okay, I think this is a personal one, but I'm open to share it. Not a lot of people, I hope not a lot will see this, but hopefully they will be. But no, one day when I'm married, I'm going to do this like special thing for my husband where, again, I like writing letters. So once a week, I'll write just a letter of just my appreciation for him, how he's blessed me that week, like even specific things that he did.
Your whole marriage? I
want to try and do it once
every week.
Oh, if I can't, then once a month. But just try
You're putting the girls out. The guys are watching like, my wife doesn't know. Everyone has their own things, okay? That's a little much. I like it. That's beautiful, though. That's beautiful.
But at least starting off, like, do it. But then it might be once quarterly of the year.
Yeah, I like that. Every 6 months, once a year.
And then putting it under his pillow, just like to give it to him as a nice little present, just how he blessed me. But I want to do that for him one day.
That is great. Your husband will be very blessed to have you as a wife.
Yes. Thank you.
He will bless you too.
Aww.
Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate that.
Definitely. Is there anything else you want to share with us, Camille? I know our time is getting short. It went by really fast.
I know. I don't have anything else right now, but again, thank you for this opportunity. Hopefully I bless somebody. I don't know. But
oh, you will. You always do.
Was there any questions?
On
the social media?
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? I know we had a lot. Let's see. A lot of comments. I can't see them anymore. But if we didn't get to one of your questions, we definitely will. We'll do some clips of this and repost it with some questions, answers to your questions. Camille, where can we find you and how can we be praying for you?
Oh, thank you. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just all over the place. Under Camille Priscilla for most of them, and then Camille Grant on Facebook. And how can you pray for me? Just, again, continuing to seek the Lord, fulfill, God's purpose for my life. Focus on that. Focus on Him all the time.
It's good.
Thank you.
It's good. Well, thank you, Camille. Thank you for sitting down with me, and we're excited for you and just what's going to happen this year. There's a lot coming, so it's really excited. So check out Camille's music, Camille Priscilla on Apple. Also check out Trackstars for all your music and fun media entertainment. And On Air with Ashley Clare, you guys, please follow and like. I'm Ashley Clare on Facebook and On Air with Ashley Clare on Instagram. Going to have more interviews coming. And there's a lot coming this year. So we're just excited to get it going and continue with these interviews and just sit down and have real conversations with real people. So thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. Have a blessed rest of your weekend and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Camille.
You're welcome.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.